Hello folks, today was the straw that broke the camel's back. Just for any lefties that might have clicked on my profile and had a look at this video, that's my political compass there. You know, all the guys who I'm friends with on Quora, guys like Barney and Andrew and other people that I talk to regularly, I'm left of almost all of them. No aspect of my social politics is right wing. Like, I'm pro-LGBT, definitely a feminist. I've always been against organised religion. The whole thing that got me started in politics was, you know, when I first moved to America and realised that the sort of creationists that deny human evolution and the age of the earth had a lot of power in politics. And I've always been agnostic or atheist leaning. I don't care about religion. I have no problem with vice, gambling, drugs, booze. There's a lot of aspects of conservatism in America that I fundamentally disagree with. That's my political compass. Now, if you're a lefty, I know you're going to be in denial and say, no. Like, do you actually think that I'm going to spend the time to fill these things out? Years ago, I mean, when did I answer this question? August 10th. They actually think you do it as some sort of ruse. Like, they double down. They think that when you do that, no, it's a ruse. Really, he's a far-right fascist. And he takes the time to do these things just to lie about it. That's my political compass. I'm socially liberal, but I am a libertarian. That's another one I did, the 8 values one. Centrist, the definition of one. I am pretty patriotic, but that's because I'm an educated man. And if you look at the third world and the values in, you know, the Far East and North Africa and places where Islam, for example, has a stranglehold, women, gay people, human rights in general are almost non-existent. So that's why I'm a patriotic centrist. I'm centre-left. I'm more for progress than I am for tradition. I'm more for liberty than I am for authority. Slightly more for the markets and equality, and I'm a patriotic. So I'm a patriotic, left-leaning centrist. That's what I am. And I always thought of myself as a Democrat. I only became an American last year, and I always considered myself to be a Democrat. I liked Obama. I liked Bernie Sanders. He's a bit far left in some ways, but he's a man of principle. So let me now, after telling you this and pointing at my exact political beliefs, tell you why the straw has broke the camel's back. And I intend to vote for Donald Trump in the election in November. There's all kinds of worries I have about Donald Trump. I disagree with him profoundly on several things. Healthcare's I'm almost a single issue voter. Like, I really think the American healthcare system is broken. It shouldn't cost you $3,000 fucking dollars to call an ambulance. It should be $50 for the driver, fucking $50 for the paramedic, and gas and insurance. An ambulance really costs about $100 to pick you up, but the insurance companies charge you $3,000. I have massive problems with the American healthcare system, and yet I'm going to vote for Trump. Today was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I'll show you why.
And look, he also knows deep in his heart that Donald Trump couldn't find Ukraine on a map if you had the letter U and a picture of an actual physical crane next to it. He knows that this is, you know, an administration defined by ignorance of the world. And so that's partly him playing to their base and playing to their audience, you know, the credulous boomer Rube demo that backs Donald Trump, that wants to...
The fake laughter as well from fucking Don Lemon. He is a fucking lemon, but it's embarrassing.
Think that Donald Trump's the smart one and y'all elitists are dumb.
You elitists with your geography and your maps and your spelling, even though
your math and your reading.
Yeah, you're reading, you know, your geography, knowing other countries.
Fucking unbelievable. To just smear tens of millions of people with that same attitude that they've had towards Brexit voters back home is fucking disgraceful. And then this one annoyed me. Alistair Stewart, 44-year career broadcasting, 44 years. No one's ever thought to call him a bigot. And then he sent a Shakespeare quote to a guy on Twitter, and it had the word ape in the quote, and because of that, sacked. Everyone's come out in defence of him. He used the same quote when he was arguing with a white guy. It's just a good quote. It's from Measure for Measure. The quote is, "But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he most assured, his glassy essence, like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven, as makes the angels weep, who, with our spleens, would all themselves laugh mortal." And just sacked. 44-year career. Never been in any trouble. Never been accused of anything. Sacked. Because he fucking tweeted Shakespeare. Ranveer Singh was talking about it because she's been friends with him for decades. She said he's such a nice man, and he always has been, and she's astounded that he got fired for it. I think between those two stories, half of the country being talked down to by arrogant, ignorant, fucking wankers on CNN and shit like that in the UK has just convinced me finally, despite the fact that I have numerous disagreements with Donald Trump and conservatives in general, that I will more than happily vote for Trump because they need to be fucking annihilated. They need to be destroyed. I figure I'm doing them a favour. The Democrats in the United States and the left in England need to lose and keep fucking losing. They need to lose until they return to sanity. And I actually quite like Bernie Sanders. I think he seems like a man of principle. Even if you disagree with his conclusions about how to run the country, at least he's always been Bernie Sanders. He's not like Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden, who's like suddenly pretending to be a lefty because it's cool. Bernie Sanders has obviously been Bernie Sanders for 40 years, so at least he's got some integrity. I'm not willing to support anyone other than Trump until the lefties in this country return to some semblance of logic. They're calling Obama a fucking boomer in the Washington Post, a supposedly reputable publication. Barack Obama, conservative. They're calling him a right-winger. Like, I thought it was crazy when the conservatives used to call him a communist and a socialist, when he isn't. He was in charge for 8 years. America didn't become a socialist country. And I used to laugh at the conservatives and say, yeah, you guys don't know anything about politics. If you think a guy as centrist as Obama is a communist or a socialist, you don't really know what those things are. And now, I side with those people because they're more sane than the fucking current glut of lefties calling this guy a fucking conservative. You have to have the IQ of a fucking pull-along duck to think that fucking Obama can be referred to in that way. Like, they've seriously lost the fucking plot. So yeah, I'm angry today. I think that sacking of Alistair Stewart was disgraceful. And I think that video is one of the worst fucking things I've ever seen. Like, it's the most insulting fucking piece of footage I've ever sat through. I think it's a fucking outrage. And I'll never support them. I will never support the Democrats until they bring themselves back down to earth. For you to vote for them when they're kowtowing to the current glut of far-left ideologues like fucking AOC, you've got to be as light as a Candyman's balloon, and you need to come back down to fucking earth. So I think today is the straw that brought the camel's back. I was celebrating Brexit, loving it, watching a few YouTube videos going, yeah, this is great, and come across this shit. It just staggers me. So, yeah, that's that.